During times of uncertainty, it's comforting to know we have a healthcare system in our community that's been committed to supporting us for well over a century. In this current time, we are standing together, and our bond is stronger than ever. KDMC, caring for our community like no one else can.
And I heard Gunnar mention it, and it's true. And it's not trying to take anything away from Texas Tech, but probably not his best stuff day. Great command of his fastball, great fastball, I thought today. But really, after maybe the first inning, the slider was non-existent. And so he just really located the fastball well. But proud of him. We needed that kind of effort today.
Chase, go ahead.
Is Cioffi okay, Mike? It looked like he's kind of holding his arm funny there. Is he all right?
Yeah, the arm got a little sore there, I think, at the end, and certainly a kid that's 47 pitches, he's not quite used to that. I mean, that's nothing scary, but I think he just got tired and just so much adrenaline. He was overthrowing some pitches and just made it a little harder on himself. And again, just a great competitor and a guy that we wanted, when you draw it up before the game, a guy that we wanted to have the ball in his hand at the end. And you wish he could have finished it, but proud of Baker. And even though he came in there, gave a hit, I mean, there's not a lot of freshmen in that kind of environment that will go in there and throw the ball into the strike zone. And then, of course, Forsyth, just a great competitor, and gets us off the field.
Nick, go ahead.
Mike, just how valuable is it having guys like Broadway and Miller and Cioffi back on this team as these extra year seniors, that veteran presence who've all done stuff like this before, been here before?
And that's one of, when you look at our COVID seniors, if you call them that, all four of them are pitchers and guys that have pitched in the program. And, that's what you'd hope, that you're going to get some older guys and, along with Cioffi and others. And I don't know, though, if we're much different than a lot of clubs. I mean, it's a hard answer for me now, just 2 games into it. As you go through the season, you start to look at the clubs that have had success and, what the actual effect of that is. But certainly anytime you got older guys that have contributed, have been on the big stage before, have played in our league on the biggest stage there is, I think it helps, especially in moments like this.
Kendall, go ahead.
Mike, obviously Gunnar showed up to this campus with pretty high acclaim. What have you kind of seen in his evolution of his stuff for the last couple of years? And also, now that he's throwing the ball a little harder, are you still seeing pretty similar spin rates to what you saw when he was at 88, 90 in the past?
Yeah, and some of the things that we've tried to improve on, and you got to credit him. Us is just giving him the data, talking about it, but trying to get the tilt of his fastball a little bit better, get it a little less 1 o'clock-ish, and get it a little more 12 o'clock, get a little more ride on the fastball, and that's happened for him, and it's been a big improvement. The velocity, I don't know if it's necessarily a tick. This is about what he was in high school. But more consistent with it here, I think, for us. But probably the biggest thing, which you didn't see today, Kendall, was, the slider. Last year, one of the reasons that his strikeout numbers were so high was, the addition of the slider. As a freshman, true freshman, all he threw was, fastball, curveball, change. And the curve we just knew was, in high school it worked for him because he had such a good fastball, but they just didn't get any swing and miss from the curveball. And so now, his strikeout numbers are through the roof. And the other part, not just analytically, I think the thing that he's learned is he doesn't have to throw every pitch for a strike. He can pitch more. And a guy with super command like him, I think that's what makes him special. There's guys that throw harder than him. There's guys that may throw a slider harder than him. But he's the whole package. He's the guy that throws 4 pitches in the strike zone and really commands it. And so to hit him, the hitters really have to work. And you saw today with a guy with, basically last 3 innings with throwing just a ton of fastballs, but to a really good offense, locating it, in, out, extending the plate a little bit, throwing it up, getting some chest high swings, and that's why he can be so special.
Adam Brown, go ahead.
Yeah, just looking at what Jacob did at the plate in 13, to lay off 13. What does that mean? Just starting the 3rd inning for y'all?
Sims, can you help me? I with the music here, I can't really hear it.
Question was about Jacob Gonzalez.
Well, Jacob, I mentioned last night, just, excited about him and excited. When people, we have so many returners, like a lot of teams, we have so many returners on this team. We have so many position players and pitchers. People ask, okay, what about the newcomers? The first name that comes to mind, obviously, is, Jacob, and especially playing a premium defensive position, a guy that, to be honest with you, we knew he was a good hitter. We knew he was a good player. We weren't sure if he'd be, a Division I shortstop. And really, it's unfair to him. Nothing that he has done. It's just, you can look at him. He's a pretty physical kid. He looks a lot like, Kessinger did maybe in year 3. He's more physical than Gray was, obviously, as a true freshman. And but he's got great hands. He moves around, and he just gets a lot of good swings off. And really, I see him as a middle lineup guy, and I just didn't have enough guts on opening day to bat him third, so we waited a day. And we'll continue to move the lineup around. But he's a guy that I think is going to, be in the middle of that lineup, for quite some time.
Parrish, go ahead.
Mike, what did you think of your guys' day offensively overall?
One of the things that's crazy about our game is you match 2 really good offenses, up. And then you look up and you see a lot of zeros, through the 9 innings. And, some of that's, just early on. And I think some of that's just really good pitching, from both sides. I know, their guy, Dallas, probably didn't have the night that he thought he would. But after him, the relievers were terrific. And, I thought we were real good on the mound as well. And, the few mistakes that the pitchers made, the offense, made them, pay for it, so, but just happy with it.
Chase, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, when did you know LaFleur would be able to hit and play this weekend? It looked like you maybe were a little pessimistic on Monday when we talked to you.
Yeah, I really was. And, you just don't know sometimes with injuries, and I wasn't trying to keep it close to the vest. We, especially with the snowstorm and all of that, Dr. Luber, one of our team orthopedics, came in and saw him and then gave him some more medicine. I want to say it was Monday or Tuesday, because he was like right on the cusp of being able, he was swinging, he was doing some things, but he just wasn't quite 100%. And with the addition, of the medicine and the rehab, he was able to get to 100%. And part of it wasn't just hitting, Chase, I know we talked about that, but one of our biggest fears was, glove hand, could he extend up? He wears a brace under the jersey, but could he extend up? And man, he was terrific yesterday defensively, made some really critical plays, I thought, in the TCU game at first base. And so probably the decision was made, I want to say Wednesday or Thursday, that he could come with us.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike.